Hi, my name is Devin Krumrink, and this is my Org 300 final review. Being a leader means something different to every person in leadership you ask. Many will describe it as a great responsibility and a loss of self, while others describe it as a sense of fulfilling to manage and care about others outside oneself. Whichever descriptor you use, there are undeniable traits and skills leaders can learn over time, whether that be time management, your traits, your strengths, your power of influence, ethical communication, and what kind of leader you really are. Since the beginning of this course, I knew I struggled with time management personally. I never felt like there were enough hours in the day to get things done. I still feel like this. Time management, if not handled correctly, can lead to overwhelming anxiety. Listening to my fellow classmates, I knew I wasn't alone. Then we began to learn exactly what time management was. It wasn't the micro-planning I had thought, it was just the budgeting your extra time so you knew not to overextend yourself and see what parts of the day you were really wasting away. Applying that ideology to my life has been the biggest struggle I've come to deal with. Taking it in terms of school, I started doing schoolwork while hanging out with friends to be able to get that quality time while also being productive. I've applied it to my daily life and work life since then. In the beginning of the semester, I managed how I wanted to budget cleaning into my daily life. I've fallen short in some areas, but overall I've been able to keep my areas cleaner by budgeting that time in. Some traits that make me who I am also contribute to me being a good leader. In previous weeks, we spent time self-assessing and identifying traits of a leader and personal traits through personality assessment quizzes. I've always known I'm an emotional being, and I have always assumed that could never be the traits of a good leader or manager. Then we started reading about how we must have empathy to be a truly active listener and have great communication. I tend to throw myself deeply into everything I do, and that means I put myself in hard to get out of positions, whether it be with employees or upper management. This class has taught me how to appropriately use my emotions to help benefit the team rather than tear it apart by looking at everything from an objective point of view. Although this class has taught me a way of more appropriately handling my emotions while in a leadership position, I won't discredit the effort that it has to be put in using that power and influence to get a team behind a common goal. Influence before this class meant how to get others to do what I want. And all that might be the final mission, it is not what it means. Influence means the effects you have on others and vice versa. During this time while taking this class, I realized my influence on others is just as important as their influence on me. No one really talks about the emotional toll influence and leadership can have on someone, but being able to influence others is important to realize the effect they have on you and adapt. Open communication is the first part of having an appropriate and effective influence, knowing what others expect of you and setting those boundaries so they know where they stand. When leaders try to influence without setting those boundaries, the rules and areas of influence get gray for both parties. This leads to what ethical communication can be. Boundaries are important for everyone in the workforce, whether it be employees or management. Ethical communication is knowing your personal culture or influence in the lives of those around you. Some cultural barriers may come into play or personal experiences. Knowing your employees allows for open and honest communication and makes it easier to achieve personal and professional goals and milestones. And so you can set those goals. My type of leadership has been influenced by all these examples of what being a leader is. In my personal life, I have tried to establish boundaries on expectations within the household and in the workplace. My leadership style has been more authoritarian, not only because it's what I appreciate more, but because I believe that having that black and white rule system allows for employees to do what they need to do without the stress of backlash or gray rules. I have learned what kind of leader I am through this class and what I aspire to be throughout this course, and I hope others can learn the same tips and tricks I did when taking this course and can learn to apply it to their daily and professional lives.